Hello everyone, this is an unusual video. It's an unusual Saturday video, and for those of you who are not paid members of the channel, this is basically what you get for your extra little members fees. You get videos very much like this where I'm sitting and I'm very raw with what I'm talking about. I don't have my work shoes on today, so it's just Jen in the raw. But I wanted to make this a public video so that everyone could understand what was happening this week, because I got quite a few people confused because they're not in the Facebook group, so they didn't know what was happening. Bentley was in the hospital for 3 days out of the 5 of the past week. So basically, Mary Maxim week, while you guys were having a good time and enjoying it, I was stressed. So I'm going to tell that story. I'm going to tell a little bit of what's been going on this week. But like I said, this normally would be a members video, but we're making it public because I know that everybody's familiar with Bentley. Everybody they're all worried about Bentley. And I'm also going to put a little bit of a health update in here as well. That way, because I have a lot to show you on Monday for Monday Makes. So instead of the blog section being on Monday Makes like we normally do, I'm just going to do Monday Makes. It's going to be strictly what I've been making because, anybody that knows, when Jen gets stressed out and has anxiety and is like very just feel like I'm falling apart on the inside, I have to keep busy 100% of the day. I don't sleep very well when I get that stressed out, and just I need to keep my hands doing something. So I've done so much of that. Plus, because this past week was Mary Maxim week, while you guys were making stuff with my tutorials, I have 2 weeks worth of stuff to show you because we're kind of a week behind because we didn't have a Monday Makes this week. So before we get started on the Bentley story, he is fine now. He was not, but he is fine now. He's actually in the backyard causing a ruckus. I can hear him barking. But he scared the living heck out of me. To start, Easter Sunday, we gave all the dogs a piece of ham. We always do on the holidays. They always get some of what we have. I always give them something special. They always get part of the meal, and it's all holidays. I love my dogs. I want them to have a special holiday just like we are, and I am very aware of what they can and cannot have, as that they are not humans and they're dogs. But it's like, they had a hunk of ham. And that was Sunday. Monday, Bentley was kind of restless in the morning, and usually if he overeats, because he's gotten into the dog food container, because we had a dog food container in the past that was broken, and he was able to open it and get in it and eat way too much, and he was bloated and uncomfortable, and this kind of felt like that kind of thing. I could tell that he didn't feel good because he was very restless. Bentley sleeps in the bed with me, okay? The other 2 dogs sleep in my daughter's room, but Bentley sleeps with me. He is my dog. He is my best friend. He is my pups. He is with me all day long. Like, he is my shadow. Him and I are just so bonded. And he was restless in the morning, and it was started at like 5, 6 in the morning. And he's tossing and he's turning and he's getting up and he's shifting and he's moving and he's whimpering and he's whining. And I'm like, okay, he's not feeling good. So, get up, take little man to school, come home, feed the dogs as per my normal schedule that I do every single day. And Bentley was not at all interested in food. And that is you guys have seen him. He is very food, like, if I gave him food, he would jump off a cliff. Like, he loves food. He would do anything for food. He is food motivated for everything. It's why he has been so easily trainable, because he just is so food motivated, and he didn't even want to smell the food, and when he smelled the food, he ran to the doggy door and threw up outside. And so I was like, this video, by the way, is going to have all the bodily functions, so if that grosses you out, go ahead and click it off. But I will be telling you what happened with Bentley. So there was all the things were involved. Okay, all the bodily functions. And I was like, okay, something is wrong. and I became hyper aware. I was watching him, and Juju was home because it was one of her days off. She only goes to school every other day because she has so many credits built up. She didn't need a full schedule this year. So I tried giving him broth over his dog food to soften it in case it was a tooth issue. But really, the fact that he smelled dog food and it made him throw up, I knew something was off with my puppy, you know. And so he still didn't want the food. And so I got a spoon out because I know that if I feed him with a spoon, he thinks it's my food, so he wants it, you know. And he took maybe 5 bites of the food. And we sat on the back porch with him. And he seemed to hold it down a little bit, but he just was not himself. Like, something was really off with him. And he was just acting funny, and like you could tell he was sick. And he kept going to the dog bowl and drinking like so much water, which is probably him doing that now because I can hear lapping. This part's really gross, so just be prepared. He got up onto the couch. He jumped up onto the couch and then just, it's like a gallon of water. I mean, easily a gallon of water came out of his body. All over the couch, poured down into the cushions, onto the floor. And it was just clear water with those 5 bites of dog food. And so I took him off the couch. He, once again, I'm just talking about you, Bubbas. Come here. Let's show everybody you're okay. Come here. Come here. Took him off the couch. Come here. Come here, come here, come here. Come here. Up. Up. Oh, yes. Okay. Now, I know I love you too. So, as you can tell, he's good. He's here. He's healthy. He's very hungry again. So he threw up again, and it was just water still. Went onto the back porch one more time, and it was like, I don't know how, because he's really skinny. He's a really skinny dog. I don't know how he had so much liquid in his stomach. And let me give Mama hugs. And I knew at that moment something was wrong because I'd been through this before with another dog. Ironically enough, the dog had the same coloring as him. And so, like, all this stuff is, like, flashing back to me. And I called Chris at work, and I was like, Mr. Cinnamon, I was like, something's wrong. Bentley's throwing up so much water. It's exactly like when Day Day was sick. And I said, I think something's in his stomach that's not right. Like, this ain't right. I gotta get him into the doctor. So Mr. Cinnamon's like, all right, I'll call the vet. And are you trying to lay on the desk, weirdo? All right, he's off. Bolt into the back door because the Oreo went out. So we got him an appointment. Our vet is right up the road from our house. And it's also an animal hospital. So even though he's an animal hospital, they take emergencies. Several times the doctor has told me he's a family dog. Like a family doctor for dogs. And he wants relationships with the families. He wants to treat them long term. He doesn't want to just do like the emergency visits, you know. And I saw this man a lot this week. Oh, by the way, I got new glasses, in case you haven't noticed. I'll talk about that too if I can remember. So, they got him in almost immediately, and it's an emergency visit, which means automatically the price skyrockets for the appointment. So I told Mr. Cinnamon, I was like, all right, me and Juju are going to take him up. I took him in, and they're like, okay, well, we need to do x-rays. It feels like there's something hard in his intestines, and we're going to treat him, get him some fluids in his stomach, give him something to stop the vomiting, and we'll go from there. The x-rays looked just terrible. Just terrible. The vet showed us his intestinal tract was almost invisible on the x-rays because it was so gassy, and there was like white things in there that weren't supposed to be in there, that was not food or digestible things. And he's all, I have no idea what's in there, but like there's a very good chance he's going to need surgery to get this out because it looks like he may have a bone in there. I was like, there's no way there's a bone in there. He doesn't get things that get bones. Like, and I told him, I said, he had ham yesterday, and Mr. Cinnamon, I cut the food up small for the dogs, because dogs will swallow it whole, right? And so I'm thinking there's a chunk of ham in his intestines or something. But there was not bone in the ham. I mean, the ham had a bone in it, but we made sure there was no bone in that ham for the dogs. So I'm like, there's no way. Like, unless he got into some Little Man's chicken, because Little Man is obsessed with Popeye's chicken. And I swear, like, he will not eat a lot of foods. And he is super, super skinny. And it's not a behavioral thing. I've said this. This is not a behavioral thing. This is not a thing that we can train out of him, because his neurodivergence, like, there are some foods he simply cannot and will not eat. His brain's like, no, it's not happening. And he would starve himself to death before he ate certain foods. So I will gladly feed him chicken once in a while, right? But he loves Popeye's chicken. Like, that's the only way he's getting bones, because we can't eat a lot of things because of the diet that I have put us on, okay? The way that we've changed our eatings, like, there's not fried chicken in my house. And when I eat chicken, which I'm not a big fan of just regular chicken, it's like boneless, because it cooks faster, you know? And there's not a bone in his stomach. I don't know how there's a bone in there. They don't get rawhide. They don't get, I mean, I could not figure out what's in his stomach except for ham. I could not. I'm like, I don't understand. And so they had him all day Monday. Was it Monday? No, it was Tuesday. It was Tuesday, because the kids went back to school on Tuesday. It was Tuesday. So Juju didn't have school Tuesday. She had school Wednesday, and then today's Friday. So she had school Wednesday and Friday. So this happened over Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Maybe. I don't even remember. This week has been, I think he was home Thursday. He was home Thursday. So it was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The reason I know that is because Thursday is the anniversary of my dad's death. So that day is usually really hard on me anyway, for a lot of reasons. So it was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I think. It doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But he spent all day Monday, I think, in the hospital. I went and got him, and he was still kind of just off. And they said, don't feed him tonight. Bring him back in the morning. We'll do more x-rays. And the vet was like, we're not going to charge you for the extra x-rays because we want to track this. However, the first day was almost $1,000. The second day was $600 and something. And then after the second day of IV treatments and x-rays, and the x-rays were not included in the $600. I can't even imagine if they charged me x-rays on top of it. It was just all the things, the medicine, they gave me a detailed list. It was ridiculous. And then they're like, the third day, the end of the second day, he was acting a lot better. Like, he greeted me. Like, the first day, he was just lethargic. He was laying around. I picked him up. Like, I had to force him back in the car to come home. He played with the girls a little bit, but then he just, like, slept. And that's not Bentley. I mean, he's a puppy. He's, what, 6 months old now? He's so energetic all the time. And he's so happy and hyper and loving and affectionate. And he was none of those things. So day 2, I took him back 8:30 in the morning. He spent all the way up until 6:30. They're like, you can come get him. I was like, okay, well, now what? And he said, well, whatever is in his system has moved, which is a good thing. He said, but he was not real hopeful. And he's like, surgery is probably going to have to happen. And so then we're like, okay, well, how much is surgery going to cost? Because these vet bills. And the only reason I had the money, I'm going to be real candid. I worked really hard for Premier Week. I worked really hard for Mary Maxim Week. And while I haven't gotten paid for either of those yet, I know that money is coming in. And I had money in my savings account to buy a new couch. because the whole back of my couch is ripped because Scarlett likes to lay on the back of the couch, and the couch was used to begin with. We got it for $100 because for Christmas like 2 years ago, we had like a small couch, and Paprika, my sister, and her family were coming, and I was like, we have no place for anyone to sit because the 4 of us plus my niece was here, and then my sister, her husband, and her baby. I think Odora was the only one that came that trip because I think she was still pregnant, or I don't think Adeline was here yet. So those 3. So that's a lot of people in the house. And so I needed a new couch. So we went and bought a used couch for $100. And it's all sun faded. And it's not a nice looking couch, but like it does the job. You know, it still seats 6 people. And it's perfect for the family. But it's an old couch. I paid $100 for it. It's sun bleached. It wasn't that great to begin with, but it's still a couch, you know. But the whole back of the one side is ripped. Like the back cushions are just completely open. Seam to seam. The fluff keeps coming out. I have to keep stuffing it back in and pulling the material over and putting blankets over it. And I was saving up for a new couch. So, first of all, anyone who watches this channel who is a member, whoever has a membership, that helps me immensely. But also Mary Maxim Week and Premiere Week, clicking those links. I know that affiliates get a really hard time, like, oh, you're getting paid for that opinion. Like, they're liars because they get paid for this opinion. Well, they got the yarn for free, so they must be liars. I've heard that in so many channels, it is ridiculous. If it weren't for those, I couldn't have afforded the vet. I'm gonna be real honest. So everybody that watches this channel that supports it in any way, if you watched one ad, if you have memberships, if you have ever clicked that affiliate link, just thank you. Cause I'm the one that paid for Bentley's vet bill. Because Mr. Cinnamon pays all our regular bills. Like, he pays for the rent, the food, and, like, everything. And, like, thank God I was saving up for a couch. Just thank God. And, the vet said if he needs surgery, it could be, depending on where we go. If we went with him, it would be $4,000 on top of the $2,000 I already put out. He said there's a place in Richmond that is associated with a veterinary college that you could probably get it for $1,500 for the surgery. And there's another animal hospital in the area that actually put Day down when he had cancer. He was 15. But it was an emergency situation because we were out of town and the dog sitter had to take him to the hospital. And that place was more concerned about getting paid than they were about handling my dog, and they were just horrible people. And he said going there would be like $4,000. No, he was $4,000. The other animal hospital was, he said $8,000 to $10,000. So I was in panic. So on day 2, Bentley came home, and I was like, what can I do? Is there a laxative I can give him to try to get this to move through his system? Because doctor said that his intestines essentially shut down because he was dehydrated from the throwing up and because nothing was staying in. And he said when you get dehydrated like that, when dogs do, their intestines essentially just stop. They shut down and nothing can move. And they gave him medicine to stop him throwing up. We have a yarn delivery on the porch. Hang on. Alright, I'm going to open this window because it's a beautiful day outside. Just get some fresh air. Get some fresh air in. I finally used my gift card from Premier Yarns and bought myself yarn. So we'll have an unboxing sometime this week. Alright, so back to the story. You're probably going to hear the birds and all kinds of things now. My face is breaking out from stress. I was like, yeah, I look terrible, but we're just going to continue on. It's not like you guys haven't seen me with this kind of issue before. So I was stressed. Like, you guys already know. I know we've all been there where we had something come up and we just didn't know if we had the money, and we got to face choices that we don't want to make and all that good stuff. And day 2, actually did the end of day 2, when I went and picked him up at the vet, he was like a lot more Bentley, you know. He came at me and he was kissing me on my face, which he always does, but the first night he was not doing that, you know. And so I was like, he's feeling better, like that the IV treatments and the antibiotics must have really worked, you know. And when the vet was like, oh, there's still something in there and surgery, I was like, oh. And then I was like, okay, well, what about a laxative or something? He's all, pumpkin. Give him pumpkin. Canned pumpkin. Make sure it's not like, you know, pumpkin pie stuff. It's got to be 100% pure pumpkin. He said mix it with chicken and rice. So I boiled up chicken and I put it in my blender and I made it basically dog food. And I cooked rice in the water that I boiled the chicken in. So there was protein in the water and the rice as well. And then I mixed in a whole can of pumpkin. But Bentley was very interested in food, which I'm like, okay, this is a good sign that he's interested in food. That means he feels better. Even if something is still in his stomach, maybe if he eats, it will push it out, you know. Especially if we can, you know, give him the laxative effect with the pumpkin. So I made a big batch and I fixed him a little bit at first. And while I was cooking at the stove, I had a spoon and I was spoon feeding him pumpkin. And he was eating it. He was so happy to have pumpkin. Because now this is 48 hours. He has not had a single bite of food. And he was eating the pumpkin. I was like, okay, like, this is a good sign. It's a good sign, you know. And then we went to bed that night and I slept downstairs with him. I slept on the floor and he slept on the couch. I slept on a mattress on the floor because my niece has a mattress. She lives in the living room when she's here from college, you know. So she has a nice mattress though. I was comfortable. You know, we bought her a real nice memory foam mattress because I don't have room to give her a bedroom, but like at least she can be comfortable. Ironically enough, this used to be her bedroom. Her mom and her sister all lived in this little tiny bedroom for a couple years. But I have nowhere else to put my office now, and she's only here like part-time, so she's perfectly fine sleeping in the living room. She said if I put her mattress in the closet, she'd sleep in there, but I'm like, you're not Harry Potter. Even though your name is Hermione, you are not sleeping in the closet. So yeah, the second night Bentley slept. He slept like he barely moved. He slept. And it wasn't like a lethargic, I'm uncomfortable, but I'm just like resting. He was sleeping comfortably. And the next morning, Mr. Cinema gets up for work at like 5 a.m. I do not, because I cannot survive the day if I'm up at 5 a.m. I cannot. I struggle at 7. So, Mr. Cinema took Bentley outside with the idea he needed to watch him, but it's still dark out, you know. So he said it looked like Bentley squatted out there, but when he went out there, he couldn't find anything, and it looked like maybe there's a little bit of diarrhea out there. And I was like, diarrhea is good. That means things can pass through. That's really good. So took him back day 3. And the vet didn't talk to me, and the nurses and the receptionist was like barely interactive. They were just getting into work, and they were just like, they were not having it. I'll take Bentley, let's go. You can leave now. You know, here's what you're gonna owe today. That's the interaction I got, you know. So all day, I think it was Wednesday, all day Wednesday, I was just sick to my stomach. I'm not eating because I'm so stressed out. I've lost 3 pounds this week just from not eating, because when you get that stressed out, like your stomach hurts. And I could not, which is crazy because I gained 5 pounds last week from, I don't know why. I think water weight. I gained 5 freaking pounds. But I lost all of that plus 3 this week. So I am down to having lost, I got hair on my tongue. I am down to 41 pounds lost. I've lost 41 pounds, which is unbelievable to me. My pants are falling off left and right. I might have to buy new shorts soon. So, yeah. Wednesday night, I got the call, and they're like, you can come get Bentley. And he was in the back room barking. And he's got a unique bark. He does a thing like Chewbacca, where it's like that, but it's deeper because I can't do it like he does it. He's a dog, you know. But he does a Chewbacca like thing, and then he howls also. So he has a howl and then a bark, you know. And he's got the cutest bark. Like when I see him in the morning and I say good morning to him, he says, I swear he says good morning, but in dog talk, because he like howls and does the Chewbacca thing every single day, except 2 days when he was really, really sick. He didn't even greet Lucas, and he loves jumping on Lucas's bed to wake him up in the morning. It's his favorite thing. And like I knew, you know. So when I went to get him Wednesday, he's barking in the background. I was like, well, it's good that he's barking, because he does that. When he hears me come home, he barks. All 3 dogs do. Like, because Scarlet and Bentley get crated because they will destroy the house. Oreo is usually not. She just runs in and out of the doggy door because she's anxious. But I can't put her in a crate because she's too anxious, you know. So the 3 of them just absolutely make so much noise when I come home. That's what Bentley has learned, you know. So I told the vet that, well, I told the nurse, I was like, he pooped a little bit this morning, so I don't know. And so they treated him anyway. They gave him another day of IVs. They gave him more x-rays, which they did not charge me for. And when I came back, the vet, they tell you to come back, come get your dog, and then they make you sit in the waiting room for like 40 minutes. Because they got other things going on, and I understand that, but it's so frustrating. Like, tell me when he's actually ready, and you can talk to me. So we're sitting there waiting and waiting, and then the vet brought Bentley out, and usually it's the nurse, you know, and Bentley is pulling and pulling and trying to get everywhere in the office, and he didn't realize we were there. And so I was like, Bentley, Bentley, Bentley. And he saw me and Mr. Cinnamon. He ran at me like he normally does and jumped on top of me. He launched his whole body into my face and is just licking, biting, licking. He doesn't bite, but he open mouth licks and like mauls me. And I was like, wow, you're feeling better. And the vet looked at me and laughed. He's all, as you can tell, Bentley is feeling better. He said, I would like to show you his amazing x-rays in a few minutes. If you could just take him outside for a walk. He probably has to pee. He might even poop. I was like, yeah, cool. My dog does not. None of the dogs like to poop on a leash except Oreo will. Oreo poops while she's walking. It's really gross. It's like she leaves a trail. Scarlet don't like to poop on the leash. Bentley refuses. And my old dog Day Day would not poop on a leash unless Juju was walking him, and she was like 7 at the time. So I was like, I'll take him outside. He was very hyper. He was all over the place. He was trying to get to people so that they could pet him. He's barking at people to pay attention to him. He was just Bentley. He was just Bentley. And I was like, wow, he's like a different dog today. And we went in, and the vet was like, I'm going to show you the x-rays, and I want you to see first day to today. And he showed me the progression. He said there's no sign of anything in there, so I don't know if it's lined up to come out, because he showed there was like turds in the x-ray lined up ready to come out. He said so he has to poop. He probably will poop when you get home. I'm surprised he didn't poop now. Like, there, it's there. And so I was like, okay. And then he actually did a rectal exam and showed us, this is what his poop looks like. I'm like, so gross. I don't want to see his poop. Like, I'm good. Oh. So he said that Bentley passed something hard. He doesn't know what it was. We didn't know what it was. He said, but like, I'm sure there was something else in there that was causing a blockage. And I started to think at that moment, I bought Oreo's. I call it her birthday, but it's the day we adopted. We fostered Oreo on April 8th. I think it was. Yeah, it's April 8th. We fostered her 9 years ago. Yeah, so Oreo's 9 now. We celebrate that day because I knew I was adopting her, but she was very sick when I got her. I had to nurse her back to health. She was very sick. She was a very sick, tiny little puppy. And I nursed her back to health, and they said that she's not healthy enough to be adopted out, but I had to foster her. The neighbor across the street that I don't get along with now was actually my friend at the time, and she worked there. She volunteered there. And so they needed a house for this puppy, and she knew I was on the lookout for a pit bull for Juju, because Juju loves pit bulls. That's why we have Scarlet. You know, Day was a pit bull. No negative comments on pit bulls, because Bentley is also part pit bull, and I will block you for that. So, the dog came in. Oreo was a dumpster dog. She was basically thrown away like trash because she was sick. She had Demodex, which is a type of mite that was just eating her alive. She had an infection in her lymph nodes, and they were swollen. And she was really sick, and she was like this big. So I celebrate the dog's birthdays and or gotcha days, right? And Bentley's birthday is September 3rd, by the way. It's not the day we adopted him. We adopted him in November, but like, I know his birthday because he was born in the shelter. So we will be celebrating September 3rd. And I got Oreo some treats. I got her some snacks, some little cookies, like dog cookies, and some treats. And I bought her a stuffed animal because she likes soft stuffed animals to chew on, and she doesn't destroy them. But it occurred to me that I bought her this pink stuffed animal, and it was not in the house, and I didn't see it in the yard when we were looking for Bentley's poop. And I just kept thinking, I bet he swallowed that dang toy. I bet that's what's in his stomach. And so, like, the final day, day 3, you know, the vet was like, he looks better. You don't have to bring him back tomorrow. And I was like, thank God. He's all, he doesn't need surgery. Thank God. Because I don't know how that would have happened at all. So, I was like, we got him home. He was hyper. He's jumping on everybody. He's jumping on the couch. He's jumping on the other dogs. He was so happy to see Juju. And Juju was upset. She missed him so much. And so I was like, Juju, I have to make him some dinner because he hasn't eaten again today. Can you, and at this point he had 2 servings of pumpkin chicken and rice and didn't throw up any of it. So I knew he was safe to eat that. So I'm like, I'm going to go heat up some food for him. Because you don't want it. I don't want to give him cold like that. It seems like it would upset his stomach. So I warmed it up in the microwave. You know, I got it ready in his bowl. And I added some water so it was nice and soft and easily passable, just in case. And I was like, can you just go watch him in the backyard? Because he had IV things and a wrapping. Like, he had so many things poked into him. And I know Scarlett was going to try to rip that bandage off him. I was wrong. He ripped it off himself. He went out to the backyard, and I was like, and can you just check that pile of poop that Daddy marked? We marked it with a bucket. I was like, can you check around there and see if there's any other poop or anything? And she's looking. She's all I see is the diarrhea. Okay? So I don't see anything else. And Bentley ran over to her, and Oreo is a Dalmatian pointer mix. She does point. So have you ever seen a dog do point? They point their nose at something, and they lift that front paw. Oreo does that, but she has taught it to the other dogs. Okay? They all do pointer. And that's what I call it. I tell them pointer, and they lift that paw, and they will go into a point. Bentley ran out there next to Juju and stood in a perfect pointer stance. And I was like, what is he pointing at? And she walked over and looked down. She's all, Oreo's pink toy. wrapped in poop. Right where Mr. Cinnamon saw him pooping this morning, but he couldn't see it because it was dark, right? And so I was like, and the vet told me, if you find anything, like keep an eye on his poop. If you find anything, let me know what came out, you know? So I was like, Chris, you need to call the vet. And he's all, why? I was like, because you need to tell him that he swallowed a fuzzy toy. And it's out. And it came out this morning. So I could have, and I told Mr. Cinnamon, I could have saved $400 on that third day and not taken him in for extra x-rays and extra IVs and all that. But not knowing that he actually passed it already, I was really relieved to see that third x-ray, the third day of x-rays, because they took more than just 3 x-rays. There was a lot. Hey, baby. You back? Bentley's back to say hi. I've never been so relieved in my entire life. And I tell Mr. Cinnamon on a daily basis, this dog makes me so happy. Like, he's right here. He's causing problems. He's looking for stuff. He is constantly making me smile or laugh because he's a goofball. He's just so silly. And he's so funny. Like last night we were sitting at the kitchen table and he likes to sit on the furniture. Like he sits on the chairs. So I wasn't hungry. It was like day 4 I didn't eat dinner because my stomach is not wanting to eat dinner. And it's a mixture of stress and the medicines that I'm on don't give me an appetite, which I'm not complaining about because I eat enough to be healthy still. So he hops in the chair next to me at the kitchen table and I looked over at him and I was like, give me a kiss. And usually he hits me with his nose. Okay. And I kiss him right on his face. And if you think that's weird, like that's just how we roll in this house, okay? So he did it the first time and I looked at him again and I was like, he's so cute when he gives me kisses. And I was just so relieved he was feeling better, right? And I looked at him again. I was like, can I have another kiss? And he looked at me and very softly took his paw and went to my mouth. I was like, I'm going to take that as a no, but thanks anyway. But he did it like, I mean, dogs have claws and they have rough paws, but he did it so soft. It was like he was rubbing my face. Like, and it's constant. This dog is constantly just making me laugh or smile. And I tell Mr. Cinnamon all the time, you guys know I have mental health issues. I really do. I have a hard time regulating my emotions sometimes. I have days where I'm horribly, horribly just depressed and don't want to get out of bed. I do. I fight it every day. But that dog, like, when I got him, instantaneously, I was, like, really attached to him. The second I saw him, when I walked up to the shelter, there was 2 pins of puppies and, like, pens, you know. And there was easily 16 puppies in the yard. And I mean, the cutest puppies. Some of them had blue eyes, his siblings. Like, some of them had blue eyes. Some were really lightly colored. And Bentley was just sitting there, and he reminded me so much of our old dog, Day Day. And I instantaneously was, like, bonded to him. And I don't know if it was his coloring or just the way he was sitting there or when I picked him up, I did not want to ever put that dog down. And it was like an instant bond. And ever since I brought him home, he just every single day does something that makes me laugh or smile. He makes me so incredibly happy. And he constantly wants to be near me or by me or touching me, or even when he was sick on the couch. I did the mom thing, you know, when your kids are sick, you put your hand on them and you just make sure that they know that you're there and they have that comfort, right? So I was doing that and I rolled over because my back was starting to hurt and he didn't feel me touching him anymore. So he scooted to the edge of the couch and put one paw on my head and one paw on my hip so that he was still touching me. That's just the kind of dog he is, you know? So watching him be sick and scared that I'm going to lose him was devastating to me. On top of all of the money that just poured out of my bank account. It was rough. It was a rough week. But I wanted to let you guys know what was going on with that because I know that I posted snippets in the Facebook group and some of you guys were like, what is going on with Bentley? Like, is he okay? And I'm like, it was just too much mentally to be on all of the social media platforms and giving everyone updates. So I just kept it to the Facebook group because I was already on Facebook, because that's where my sister is, and I don't know. It's just that's where I updated first. So aside from that, the week before that was kind of rough too. And if you're a member of this group, or this, if you're a YouTube member, you've already heard the story about my health. But I'm going to give you guys all a quick update, because I was going to do this in Monday Makes video. It's not going to be as detailed as the members video, so if you're hearing things twice and you're a member, this is why. I just wanted to give everybody an update. I went to the doctor last week, so this is the week before Bentley got sick. I have severe anxiety when it comes to doctors. Severe. And for years, even with my current doctor, I could not regulate my blood pressure when going to the doctor because I was scared, and I would be shaking, and I would be just overwhelmed with anxiety because of my past. Because of doctors I've dealt with in the past, and just a lot of reasons, you know. And the past like 2 or 3 years, like I really started to put my trust and my faith into my doctor, and he's a really good doctor. He announced he was retiring right after I got diagnosed with diabetes this year. So I have to find a new doctor, and that scares me, and that just sends me into waves of anxiety if I think about it too much. I have a couple months to find a new doctor. I am going to stick with the nurse practitioner that has taken on his patients right now, and we're gonna see how that goes for now. But like that was anxiety on top of everything. So I had both my last doctor's appointment ever with this doctor, and I was getting my eyes checked on the same day. And also I was getting an update on my blood sugar results and what had happened, and just talking about my health. And like with the whole diabetes thing, that was really a hard diagnosis to get. It was really hard. Like the last time I saw him before this last week, I cried through the entire appointment because I told him I don't want to have diabetes, and it was my fault, and I did this to myself. And I know that, you know, but it was a hard reality to look at. And I have fought and fought with everything that I have since January 2nd to turn my body back into something that is more healthy. So a lot of you have asked, what diet am I on? What is working to help me lose weight? I'm going to tell you this right now. I do not promote diets. I do not promote weight loss. I do not ever think that anybody needs to lose weight for vanity purposes or because they want to look better. This has been 100% health. And I'm going to say that before I say anything else. I do not promote you hating your body because it's fat. I don't promote that. Love your body no matter what it looks like. That's the only body you have. And I know that is a hard hurdle to get over, but love your damn self. You deserve it. I deserve it. You know? And that was a really hard lesson for me to learn. So the fact that I'm doing this, we're not even going to call it, I can't even call it a diet, because that word makes me want to, it makes me sick, okay? I hate the word diet. The way that I am eating, I will tell you, because I know there's a lot of diabetics on here because you've told me, because I'm already gluten, I can't eat gluten. It makes me violently sick. There is a lot of foods I already cannot eat. I mean, a lot. Gluten and or wheat are in everything. That was the hardest hurdle mentally to get over, was the getting rid of all of my favorite food. Bread was so hard. Like I grew up on bread. I've been sick my whole life though. So it makes sense that like I get rid of the bread and I'm not sick anymore. I mean, just for years and years and years. So already, if it has gluten or wheat in it, it does not go into my body. That means wheat, barley, rye. So it's like, okay, that's already a lot of foods. There are some chocolates that have gluten in it because they use barley malt. My favorite chocolate, Lindt, barley malt. Can't eat it. And I'm not a big chocolate eater. Hi, Bubba's. I'm not a big chocolate eater, but like Lindt was my favorite, and I can't eat it anymore. So, do you want up again or no? Do you want on your bed? There you go. He's got a rug under the desk he sleeps on. So this video is gonna be long. I'm just warning you already. I mean, we're already 45 minutes in. I still have so much to talk about. It's just like we're sitting down having a nice talk. Just us two, right? Just us friends. I came over to visit and tell you all about my life. So I was already nervous going to the doctor. I was already like, oh, diet, focus, Jen. I eat meat and vegetables. That's it. If it's processed, if it comes in a box or a bag, it does not go into my body. I limit some of my vegetables. Like, I will not eat peas, but I don't like peas anyway, so that's not any loss. I limit how many carrots I have. I limit my tomatoes because those are high in sugars. I will not eat a potato, and I love potato. Like, if I could have lived on potatoes, I would have been perfectly happy. Like, forget every other food, potatoes, right? They're so good, and they're so versatile. I have not had a potato since January 2nd. No potatoes will be in my life. And Mr. Cinnamon was talking about the future. He's like, so like in the future, are you going to start eating? I was like, potatoes? I have to be done with potatoes. Potatoes are like a drug to me. They're a comfort food. They are, and there's not a potato I won't eat. I don't care how you make it. Potato salad, French fries, potato chips, baked potatoes, boiled potatoes. I will eat. I like raw potatoes. Like, my mom used to sit and peel the potatoes and dunk them in water, clean them all off, and I would pick out of her bowl and I would put a little salt on them and eat them raw. Potatoes, right? The potatoes are a no-no. So, I don't eat rice. I don't eat potatoes. I eat mostly chicken or seafood. I really love shrimp and crab and like the good stuff. I like fish if it's prepared, if it's seasoned well, I will eat it. I like flavor, like serious flavor. I will eat it. But seafood, crab, shrimp, some fish, chicken. I have steak once in a while, but I have fake teeth up here. That whole back section is fake, so I can't really chew like unless the steak is really, really tender. And Mr. Cinnamon makes a fantastic steak, and he knows that it needs to be nice and pink in the middle and soft and tender. But like, it's just a lot. So I will eat steak maybe once a week. I have ground beef. Those are our meats. Although we had lamb last night. I like lamb too. So meat. If it's a protein, it's on the yes list. Eggs on the yes list. In the morning, I usually eat eggs and an avocado. I love avocado. Matter of fact, yesterday, to celebrate having lost, because I was at between 38 and 39 pounds lost for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. And then I gained 5 pounds last week, and I was really frustrated with my body. And then this week, I finally hit the 40-pound mark. And now I'm at 41 pounds today. So yesterday, I was so happy that I actually finally hit 40, and I'm under 320 pounds, finally. That I celebrated. I made avocado salad for breakfast, which is just chopped avocado and a chopped cucumber, and I grated jalapeno in it with lemon and a little bit of salt. Avocado salad. You can also add tomatoes into that, but like I said, I limit my tomatoes. For lunch, if I eat lunch, I don't generally eat dinner because I don't have, like, I'm just not hungry. And that has to do with one of the blood sugar medication that I'm on dampens my appetite. So if I eat lunch, I cannot eat dinner. So for lunch, I will have a snack. So maybe some little cheese cubes, maybe a couple pieces of pepperoni. Avocado salad is a go. Any salads, but it's got to be small or else I'm not going to eat dinner. And what else was I going to say? Pork rinds. Pork rinds are a go for me if I'm in the mood for a crunchy snack. And then for dinner, we eat a protein and 2 sides of vegetables. That's my diet. And if I want ice cream, or which I'm not a big sweet eater anyway, but if I wanted ice cream or I wanted something sweet, I will allow myself sugar-free candies. Or there is ice cream. There's 3 different kinds of ice cream we just discovered that are, some of the versions are gluten-free, but they are definitely either low sugar or no sugar, and it's Nicks, Nicks, Enlightened. What is the third one? Oh, I can't think of the name of it. Rebel. Those 3. And I just have a couple spoonfuls, and that's all I can handle, because I'm not a sweet eater. So that's my diet. So anyway, back to the doctor update. The combination of the doctor and the eye doctor's appointment, and then the following day, we had the concert, the Jake Wesley Rogers concert, where we were meeting Jake Wesley Rogers, which was an amazing experience. It was so fantastic. When I came out of there, I felt like it was just amazing. It was an amazing concert. It was an amazing experience meeting him. He was so fantastic. He recorded a message for Little Man on my phone, and it made Little Man's day. Like, it was so sweet. He was just a very nice person. He loved Juju's earrings and wanted some of his own. It was just amazing, okay? The combination of those things that were happening was causing me so much just stress and anxiety. So last week, and on top of that, I had not finished Mary Maxim week. I was trying to record and finish all the tutorials, and it just seemed like things kept happening. And I told Mr. Cinnamon, I'm working in circles because I am working and working and working. I can't get anything done. And I just felt like I was running a race, and I just was not finishing it. And so, like, all of it was just weighing down on me, and I'm like, I don't know if I can manage this week. So we went to the doctor. The doctor was ecstatic about my blood sugar, about my A1C, I think was 11 or 14. I can't remember now. My brain is like, it was 11. 11? In January, and it's now 7.1. And he said because it's on a sliding scale, and because there's still markers from 2-3 months ago in there, it might actually be lower than 7.1, and the next time I have my blood drawn in another 3 months, he said there is a good chance that I will be out of the range of needing any medication for my blood sugar. So freaking proud of myself for that. I got my I don't remember what it's called. The sugar, when you poke yourself every day, that sugar was, it's been like 111 almost consistently every day. And it was in the 400s. That's where I'm getting the 4 from. The A1C was 11. Came down to 7.1. My blood sugar readings was 400s, and it's now about 111. Between 111 and 120. Amazing. And he said to me that that medicine that because I'm not taking metformin, which is really recommended, because it made me feel like I was having a heart attack. Could not take it. I tried for 4 days, and every time I took it, I just felt like I was dying. I felt like I had a heart attack over and over again. It was very hard. I'm like, I'm not taking this anymore. It feels like I'm dying. And so I'm on just one more now, and he said that medicine's not going to get you down from 11 to 7 on your A1C. He said, that's you. That's you. You did that. And I told him, I said, I've worked really hard. He said, I can see that. And he started to say about the Mountain Dew diabetic thing. He told me the story last month, or in January. He's like, there's something called a Mountain Dew diabetic, and they drink so much Mountain Dew, and they sit and they play video games in their parents' basement. I think this is an actual story of someone he met that this happened to. And when they stopped drinking the Mountain Dew, they weren't diabetic anymore. And he started to say that to me about the Mountain Dew diabetic, because I was drinking a lot of Dr. Pepper. And I said, don't call me a Mountain Dew diabetic. It is not that. I said, I've worked way too hard. I've changed everything in my life. I am not a Mountain Dew diabetic. This was hard work. And he backpedaled so fast. And then he started trying to tell me how good I did, how happy he is for me. And he was asking a lot of questions about what I'm doing, what are my goals, and all this stuff. And I'm just glad that my last time seeing him, he got to see that I was doing something to make myself healthier. And also my blood pressure, which is normally high on doctor's appointments due to anxiety, was so low that he said, if I start feeling dizzy because of the summer months and getting out and doing stuff, he said, if I start to feel dizzy, my blood pressure is going too low, he said, you can take yourself off of one of your medications. And he told me which one to stop taking. And he said, I'm making sure all this is in your chart so that when you move on to the next doctor, that's all there. This is what's recommended. And I have been on blood pressure medications for 15 years. And to be able to come off of one of them is amazing. Now, good news at the doctor. Super happy. I cried when I left the doctor's office, though, because now I had to say goodbye to the only doctor I've ever trusted in my 43 years of life. And I have to find a new doctor, and that's stressful. But then I'm like, okay, now I gotta go get my eyes checked. You guys know I've been having serious vision problems for a very long time. And what I have not told anyone is that I was having blind spots and I was seeing blood in my lens. And that's bad, and that's can be from the diabetes. And I haven't been having as many problems, and my vision has improved greatly since January, like greatly. But I have readers all over the house, all different levels. My Minnie Mouse ones, which are my favorite, these are from Foster and Grant, by the way. These are a 1.25. These don't say, but I have 1.25 all the way up to 2.5. Because my vision is constantly doing something, especially the past 3 months. It is constantly just, I can see one day and the next day I can't. And then the following day, like, I can see a little bit better, but not as good as the day before. And, like, it's all over the place. And I went and got my eyes looked at. And the eye doctor, he's an amazing doctor, too. Like, he's a good eye doctor. He showed me what the inside of my eye looked like. And in the past, all my blood vessels were really constricted. And they're not, which is good. He said the optic something or another that's on the back of your eye, he said it's crystal clear and there's no signs of pending blindness, which was a huge fear of mine because I was having blind spots in my vision a lot, and it was probably from the sugar. And he said there's no permanent damage to your eyes. Your eyes look perfect and healthy like someone who does not have diabetes. He said, we did not do an official diabetic check. He said I have to come back in October and we'll do an official diabetic eye check and check for that. And then he said, your vision has gotten worse, specifically in my right eye. My right eye is way worse than my left eye, like a lot. And I didn't realize how bad my right eye was until I was covering. And then I'm like, oh, wow, I can't see. I really cannot see. And so, I also have 3 prescriptions in these lenses, which is why I got the big frames, because I need bifocals, but these are actually kind of trifocals, but they're the progressive, so they blend down. So instead of like that line and then the different prescription here, it's like prescription changes, bifocal changes. So it's gradual. So if I look at you straight through, I can see really good. And if I look straight through, I can see far away. If I tilt my head slightly like this to where you can see the ring light, that's for like when I'm working on the computer. Okay, so I gotta hold my head up high when I'm working on the computer, or I just push my glasses up a little higher, right? And then when I'm working, when I'm looking down at my hands, I'm looking through right here, and that is the strongest part, so that I can see close up, because I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see anything. Now I can see everything. And I got myself some prescription sunglasses that are just the top prescription, because that's the far away. I don't need to see right here when I'm driving or in the car. And if I need them in the car, I'll just put these on. You know, it's not a big deal. So I splurged and got myself some sunglasses. And they're really cute. I'll go get them. I'll show you. Alright, so these are my new eyeglasses. I wanted hot pink. I wanted hot pink or like purple. But these are blue. And I know it's hard to tell, but they're really, really pretty. And they make me feel pretty. And they kind of match Mr. Cinnamon's glasses. And these are my sunglasses, which totally make me feel like a movie star. I'm gonna be real honest. These are like fancy, right? So those are my new sunglasses that are prescription. It is so amazing to be able to see when you're driving. You have no idea. So once I got those appointments over, because when I was going to the eye doctor, I was also really nervous because I'm like, okay, this is going to be bad. Because having seen, like, I see blood inside I can see it. And it hasn't happened for a while, but it was happening frequently, you know. That's scary. And that's the first thing he said is we're not going to let, if your eyes are bleeding, we're not just going to let them sit. We're going to do something to treat that. He said, but right now we're not going to do the diabetic eye test, the official exam, because I don't remember what his reasoning is. I think it's because he just wanted to focus on me being able to see now, because I haven't been able to get into him for like 3 years because the pandemic. I was supposed to go in 2020 and I couldn't get in because of the pandemic. And then last year I had an appointment and I got COVID on the freaking day before my appointment. And I told him, I said I had to cancel last year because I had COVID. He was thanking me because he said someone just came in a couple days ago. She actually had COVID. And I'm like, bro, you just got exposed to COVID. You're breathing on me. Come on. And he saw me look at him strange. And he's like, he's all, I cleaned everything. Don't worry about it. I didn't breathe any of her germs. And I was like, thank you. Thank you. So, I was going to show you that. I made a matching hat to match the fingerless gloves. I can't wait to show you all the things I made tomorrow. Or Monday. I'm going to film it right after this probably. But I'm going to film it on the big camera. Because this is my phone. And I just upload it straight from my phone. I don't edit or anything. This is how the members videos go. Even though this isn't officially a members video. So everything. And then the concert was amazing. It was the next day. But I was so anxious. Because I was meeting someone that was famous. And the first time I saw this man perform, I cried. His story is very heartbreaking to me. He's gone through a lot of persecution and a lot of just heartbreak. Just heartbreak. He's been rejected by people. Just the lifestyle he grew up in was not... It was just so hard and critical on him. And my heart breaks for him when he tells his story. And he does. Like, he tells his story through song. But he also tells his story on the stage when he's talking and performing. It was just... I was watching somebody testify about their life. And it's absolutely heartbreaking because some of what he's experienced, I know what that feels like. And I want to be the mom and hug him and tell him that it's okay. And that he should just be who he is. And that no matter who he is still loved, you know? Because I think that's what he needs to hear more than anything. But his songs touch me in a way that is so profound because I have felt some of the things he has felt in his life. And meeting him, and he was so kind and loving. And he hugged both of me and Juju twice. And he was just... It was an experience, and it was amazing. And it took several days to just breathe after his concert because it was so just... it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. I know a lot of you won't understand because you don't listen to his music or don't understand who the heck is Jake Wesley Rogers, but he is a beautiful, beautiful person. He is like a unicorn. He's so unique and just sparkly and just... He's just beautiful. He's so beautiful. And his songs, I'm telling you, they just hit somewhere in my soul. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience. And it was a very small venue. And there was one point where I was like, I was nervous going in, and then little man had an issue at school with a bully, and like an incident that scared all of us. And I asked, because little man wanted to go to the concert. Little man likes his music. He likes Jake Wesley Rogers. He sings it, and there's a sign, there's a lyric in the song that says, "My mom loves me no matter what," and that really F's me up. And little man was singing it. He didn't sing the F part. He was like, my mom, she loves me no matter what, but that doesn't F me up. And like, I cried when he sang that, because he was like, my mom really does love me no matter what. And to hear your child understand that, especially when he's a special needs child, I cannot, and it was a couple days before the concert, so I was like, mommy cry, you know? And so I asked Jake Wesley Rogers, I was like, would you mind, because they were having someone else take the picture so they can get the line moving along, you know, because there were a lot of people that wanted to meet him. Well, not a whole lot. There was like maybe 40 people that were meeting him. And they just were trying to get people cycled through, you know. So they had one of the workers take the pictures with your phone. And we move along. And I was like, would you mind recording a message for my 8-year-old? And he's all, yeah. I was like, he loves Pluto. Pluto is one of Jake's most famous songs on the TikToks. I said he loves the song Pluto, and he really wanted to come tonight, but you know, he's 8, you know. That is not an environment to take an 8-year-old. I'm not gonna have it. There was a girl at the concert. She about broke my heart. I'll tell you about her in a minute. And he's like, yeah, I will record a message for him. What's his name? I was like, his name is Lucas. And so he made a special message for Lucas. He's like, I wish you were here, Lucas. Thank you so much for listening to Pluto. And it was just, and Lucas was out with Chris because we were up in DC. And so Chris Mr. Simmons does not let me drive in like far away places. He's my chauffeur. And I told him, I was like, I'll drive. It's not a big deal. Like, the parking garage is underneath the bar. Like, it's fine. You know, I'm not scared of big cities. I grew up in Detroit, you know. I'm not scared of any of that. I'm good. You know, I am always aware of my surroundings. I have a weapon on me sometimes. I just carry a knife, but like, you know, I know how to defend myself, and I will protect my child to the death because I have Juju with me, you know. And so, I'm good. I can drive up. He's like, no, I'm driving you up there. Me and Lucas will go find something to do while you're at the concert. I was like, okay. So they went to Dave & Buster's and had dinner and played in the arcade and had a fantastic time. But I sent the message to little man, and I was like, hey, like, I sent it to Mr. Cinnamon's phone. I was like, can you show him this? And Lucas freaked out. So he wanted to record a message back to me saying, thank you so much for having him record a message for me. Wow, that was so cool. And he was so excited, you know, because like he wants to meet a celebrity too, but like I'm not taking an 8-year-old to a bar. It's not going to happen. So it was really, really cool. So back to the little girl. I want to say she was between the ages of 12 and 16. It's hard to tell because the way she was dressed, but she had a very young look to her. And she had really short shorts on. And she had slices all in her leg. Both of her legs. She was there with her mom. And I don't know if her mom knows what the slices are. But I did. I leaned over to Juju. I said, did you see that girl's legs? She said, yeah. I said, she's a cutter. The reason I know she's a cutter is because I have scars on my legs in the same places as hers. They're still there. For those of you that are new and you do not know, I was a very depressed teenage child. I had a very hard time. 3 times I attempted to end myself. But for years, I cut myself to alleviate pain, to punish myself for not being everything that my parents should have loved. Just from trauma. And I wanted so bad to go over and tell that little girl Stop hurting yourself, baby. Stop hurting yourself. Just love yourself. This is why I tell you guys, love your damn self. Because I did not for years. And the scars are still in my thighs. And I had to explain to my children what those scars are. And when I wear a bathing suit, I've gotten asked countless times, what are those scars on your legs? Because they're like this long across my thigh. Matter of fact, I got one on my knee that's about that long. It's very visible all the time. The ones on my upper thighs are a lot more hidden. That one was by far the worst one. I just wanted to tell her it's going to be okay. It's not always going to be this hard. So if you are out there and you're listening to this for some reason, you came across my channel and you're listening to my utter nonsense rambling, and you are struggling with anything, I'm going to tell you, it gets better. I'm living proof. I am happier most days than I've ever been in my entire life. It gets better. It's not always this hard. It's not. It still gets hard, but it always gets better. There's always light at the end of every tunnel you're in, and it will get better. You just got to hang on. And I know that you can. You've done it before. Just hang on and keep going through that dang tunnel. And love your damn self. You deserve it. Now, with that, girl, I wanted to go hug her and just tell her it's going to be okay, baby. Just stop cutting yourself. And some of them looked infected. Like, it was heartbreaking to see that. So hopefully the message from Jake Wesley Rogers got through to her that she deserves to be loved, because he did say that several times. And that it's okay to be who you are. No apologies. Just be yourself. Be who you are. And love yourself. That's all any of us really want, right? Is to be accepted and loved for who we are. So, with all that, I feel like I just had a therapy session. I'm gonna be real honest. So, yeah, I'm reluctantly making this public because I know that a lot of you were concerned about Bentley. He is perfectly fine. He is so back to himself. He wants to eat everything in sight. Scarlett is always barking. She's my protector. She's always on guard. She's like, hey, mommy needs to be okay. And since you guys saw, there is going to be a yarn unboxing because I used my gift card from Premier Yarns. In case you don't know, because I did very well for Premier Yarn Week, and they were so happy with my successes. They sent me a pretty good gift card for their own yarn, and I waited until something I really wanted was on sale, and I stocked up. This is a hint right here. Shelf. I bought some cake. I mean, I can't eat cake. I might as well buy yarn cakes, right? So, and it was on sale. So I was happy about that. And I bought some more of the cotton sprout because I really like it. And I'm really into wearables. And my girl Nancy over at She's Got Yarn Too. By the way, go check her out and tell her Cinnamon Stitches sent you and tell her you love her. Okay? Because she is amazing. And there's so many reasons why I love Nancy. I watch every single video Nancy puts out. I don't watch a lot of podcasters, but Nancy is like, I watch every one of her videos. I'm just fascinated with her. I'm actually going to get to meet her this summer, and I'm really excited because, like I said in a previous video, we're going to Florida for Juju's graduation. We're taking her to Disney World, and that's the only thing that bothers me about my glasses. They're a little bit too big back here, so I need to have them tight, and they are constantly sliding. So, I get to meet Nancy. I actually called her out in a video. I was like, well, if she can drive to Orlando for something else. And then she texted me and she was like, I'd really like to meet this summer. I was like, done. And I told her, I was like, I'll be there at the end of June. Let's do this. So yeah, I'm going to get to meet Nancy. I'm really excited about that. But Nancy is, it's so funny because Nancy bought this booklet of patterns. This is MJ's Off the Hook. Okay. I love MJ's patterns. I have purchased a lot of, I don't purchase a lot of patterns. I usually make up things as I go along. MJ's Off the Hook makes patterns up to 5X. I don't know about all of her patterns, but the summer collection goes up to 5X. So for all my big girls out there, or big guys, like, no judgment, you can wear this stuff, I don't care. She released this last year, and it was the summer lace collection, and beautiful lace garments that go up to 5X. So I bought the booklet, and I just made them like a book. I stapled them all together. And Nancy pulled this out, and she's all, I purchased these because she saw them somewhere. I don't know where. And she's all, I purchased these and I wanted to start making them this summer. Well, my goal last year was to make some of these for this year, and I never got around to it because I didn't think I had the right yarns, or like I needed a specific amount of yarns. And with all of the stress and everything that I've been going through, I caked up about 90% of my hanks are all caked up. I have a lot. I didn't cake up any of the koigu because that's for a special project, but I caked up about 90% of my hanks. So Hobby Lobby hanks that I got last year. I have Lion Brand hanks, which are on Winifred back here. Because one of my goals this year was to actually use up the good yarn. The good yarn. We'll talk about that tomorrow or Monday. So I was like, I might have enough of my good yarn to make some of these projects. And I mean, I'm going to have to do some math and figure that out for certain. But she has like, she says it's a kimono. I want to make that. That's beautiful. And so when Nancy was like, hey, like, I want to make some of these, I'm like, yeah, so do I. Because I already purchased all those patterns last year and I ain't cracked into none of them yet. And what I like about MJ's patterns is she has schematics and stitch charts and stuff in here. And she has, like, her patterns are well written, but she also has video tutorials to go along with them on the website. And when you buy the pattern, you get the code for the video. So if you're having problems, just go watch the video, which I haven't had to watch her videos because the pattern is, it's a well-written pattern with schematics and everything. And I really am in love with some of these patterns, and I want to make them, which is why I bought this. And the fact that this beautiful skinny little thing made up to 5X. I already told you. Like, I've told you this before. Hannah from Cozy Cottage Crochet. Same with her. These women are just, they're little tiny things. And they don't have to make bigger than a size large or an extra large. They don't have to. Because they will sell the patterns regardless. Because someone's looking at her body like, well, I can wear that. I look like her, right? But a lot of times, smaller designers are like, I'm not making a piece of fabric that big. I'm not putting the work in to grade this up to a 5X. And Miss Michelle does that perfectly. Her patterns are just stunning. And so when I saw Nancy was making some of these, I was like, wow, I'm going to join Nancy. Because Nancy is busy joining everybody else's stuff, right? She's like, I'm going to join this crochet along. I'm going to join this crochet along. And I'm like, you're crazy because I ain't got time for all that. And she don't either. But she just wants to be in with everybody. So I'm like, well, since Nancy's doing it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to join Nancy. So I don't know when we're going to have time for fitting this into my schedule. But my goal is to make at least one of these this summer. And I really want that blue one. I really want that blue one. And I have to check. I'll have to check what yarn she uses. It's called Lacy Days Kimono. She says, let me see what kind. And now, see, I don't even need to make the biggest size because I'm a 3X now. I don't need to make a 4X/5X. I can make a 2X/3X, which is amazing. I can't hardly believe it. the doctor's office had my weight messed up in the chart, and he's like, well, according to my chart, you only lost 14 pounds. I'm like, I lost almost 40 pounds. Don't get me down. No, I only lost 14 pounds. And then my anxiety was like, maybe you did only lose 14 pounds. Maybe you were wrong. I wrote down my weight every week since January. It's in my journal. I know what my weight was, but like my brain was like, well, maybe he's right and you're wrong. And it was a whole stupid thing because I don't want to believe that I've dropped 41 pounds like that. My brain is like, cannot handle that right now. All right. So for the Lacy Days kimono, she used Cotton DK from Knit Picks, which is 70% cotton, 30% linen, and I don't know what size yarn that is. It doesn't say. Oh, it's a DK, duh. It says cotton DK. So a DK. So I need a cotton blend that's a DK. Well, I got that covered. This yellow yarn up here has sparkles in it. I mean, that would be so pretty in this. And I have, I don't know, like 10 cakes of that. So I have more than enough. Because it says, how many... says 15 balls to make a 3X of, so there's 123 yards in this yarn. I need 15. So I gotta do that math. And then I gotta figure out how many yards that can translate into. That's another reason, is like you don't have to use the yarn that she's using in the pattern. You can just use a like yarn and then just figure out how many you need from the yardage versus how many balls she says to use. So yeah, I'm going to be joining Nancy from She's Got Yarn too. I will try to remember to link her below, but I'm so bad at that. But it's She's with a Z, Got Yarn, and the number 2. And her name is Nancy. She has really dark hair. Go check her out. And don't forget, tell her Cinnamon Stitches sent you over, because we're going to be working some of those this week, or this year. We're going to be working some of those patterns. And if you guys want to check out MJ's Off the Hook, I will link her below as well. And you know, we can make all the fun things together. And then while you guys are making this beautiful shawl thing, okay, this is my shawl from Mary Maxim Week, and I made it in Lion Brand hand dyed yarn. It turned out gorgeous. I will show you that on Monday as well. But you can make that as well if you don't want to buy any patterns. That's free. That's a tutorial. So that's what we're going to be seeing in the future. I want to make more wearables, more plus size wearables. I'm going to be doing some of MJ's patterns. I might be writing some more patterns. I don't like writing patterns. I like doing the tutorials. Writing patterns is really labor intensive, and you got to check and double check and have other people check it to make sure that your math is right. And sometimes it's hard for me to word it on paper how I want it done or how it needs to be done. Whereas I can just show you and talk you through it in a tutorial. So that's why I don't do written patterns anymore. It's just, I just choose not to. So it has been almost an hour and a half, and I apologize that we've been here for so long, but I really have enjoyed this time spending with you. And if you've stuck around through this whole video, thank you so much for just being here for me and listening. And once again, everyone who watches this channel, who interacts with any of the advertisements, who watches them, who maybe clicks on an ad, if you're a member, if you have ever clicked on an affiliate link, you guys are the reason Bentley is alive. Between my hard work and you guys just being there for me, I mean, I can't thank you enough for that. I really, really can't. So I love you guys. And from me and Bentley, who is laying on the floor sleeping, because he's been outside so much since he got home. He just has been running and running and running. He's wearing himself out. Thank you. And thank you for being here for me. And thank you for listening. And yeah, just be kind. Be kind. And I will see you Monday. Bye, guys.